In the automotive world, a car's lifespan is usually 5 to 7 years. That's how long it takes for a brand new car to become old and then a new generation comes along. In the world of personal computers like your phones or your laptops, that number's more like 1 or 3 years. And that's why the Model S is so interesting. Here I have a 2015 model, but if you're looking at this as a personal computing device, then this thing is old. It's lacking all the latest technology, it doesn't look as good as the latest version, and it comes from a different time. But if you are looking at this as a 3-year-old car, you're looking at this as a slightly used 3-year-old car. So the question I am going to face in this episode of Only Time Will Tell is, does this car align with the views of a computing world or a transportation world? So let's jump in and let's find out. What you are about to witness is a rather tall young boy experience a Tesla for the first time. I have obsessed over this company probably since the first Model S was ever shown. There's a lot of people in the world that despise Tesla. They hate everything that is involved with their ideology, with the man behind it, and with their very poor ability to make deadlines. But I'm not really going to focus on that right now. I'm going to really focus on this 2015 Tesla Model S 85D. Now, I wanted to create this show because I feel like in the world of cars, especially high performance cars, as soon as the new one comes out, the old one is dead and buried. Nobody cares about it anymore. This isn't a P90D, a P100D. This isn't the best of the best. The Model S is so much more than the high performance version. It's so much more than the 0 to 62 mile an hour run. Of course, that's one of the big headline pieces. Electric cars have instant torque. They are quick off the line. That's what people really want to ask about. I'm at a red light right now. And this might be the prime opportunity to do this. Oh, Christ. Oh, wow. There was that initial hit of what I thought was the acceleration, but then even more came along. That was astounding. Oh, I'm going to do it again. Right. Very quiet bit of road. Don't worry, constabulary. I'm only going to go to 60 kilometers an hour. Take a breath. Here we go. Wow. The only thing you hear there is a little bit of a ring of the dual motors. Okay, I need a minute. Just give me a sec, will you? Now, this car is 3 years old. It's not the latest and greatest model, but it does have pretty much everything that you would want out of a Tesla if you were buying a brand new one in 2015. The only thing it doesn't have is those jump seats that you could throw your kids into in the rear hatch. Some of the biggest changes that have happened since this car was brand new versus what the current new Model S's are a few interesting differences. For one, when this car came out, Tesla was adamant on saying that every new Tesla would have free supercharging capability. That is no longer the case. Now, if you are someone that's bought a Model 3, you don't immediately have free supercharging. You either are referred it by someone else that also owns a Tesla, or you're grandfathered in. In the newer cars, you have even greater Autopilot technology. Here we have that system available, but not the latest with the additional cameras that are in the B pillars of the new models. Oh, that's another thing. When they were making the 85Ds, that was still a time where you could get a Model S with rear-wheel drive. Today, that no longer exists. Things that have stayed the same. We still have this digital screen here, which gives you all of the information that you could possibly care about. You have the incredible 17-inch screen. This is a masterpiece. It works as well as your iPhone. It's updated as frequently as it as well. And it gives you a whole bunch of other little toys that you can play with as well. Like you have the little Easter eggs that are buried here in the system. And so look, you can draw on here if you want to. Hey, there's my signature if anybody wants to ever steal it. You can surf the web, but you cannot watch video as you drive. But let's just go here for the sake of interest. What happens when we go to my website? Hey, look, it's me! I'm reviewing a car as I'm looking at the website of me reviewing cars. The steering has a wonderful weighting to it. This is a heavy car and all the weight is below my feet. And one of the greatest benefits to that is that you have so much interior volume. You have all this space below. The thing that you have to remember is Tesla is a brand new company. They only started at the beginning of this millennium. Other car manufacturers that have existed for over 100 years weren't able to make this technology readily available. Tesla wasn't the first to make the electric car, but they were the first one to make it desirable and the first one to make the electric car an aspiration for some people. There's very few buttons, as there always is in a Tesla. They feel okay. They definitely feel out of place when everything else is fantastic. You have all the practicality that you expect with the hatchback design, and then with the frunk. Oh, that's another thing. When they were making the 85Ds, that was still a time where you could get a Model S with rear-wheel drive. Today, that no longer exists. Oh, I'm such a child! With the Model S's air suspension, it can remember when it is being used. If you were to come home every day to a steep driveway and you were setting it for very high every time, the Tesla would learn that, so you would never have to hit that button again. And then also, if it knows you're approaching your home, it will automatically open the garage door for you as well. I know you can easily criticize Tesla for the price that you pay for their vehicle doesn't necessarily match up to their interiors. Well, I've just tested an F350 diesel. That cost 100 grand. That didn't have the interior of an S-Class. It definitely has some nice soft touch plastics up here and some leathers that feel very nice here. It's got this open pore wood. We've got Alcantara up here on the headliner, a little bit up here as well. But when it comes to a Tesla, you're not necessarily buying it for the interior appointments. You are buying it because you think it's the future. I wouldn't say there's enough lower leg support for someone my height. Sitting behind myself, not too difficult, but I do find, again, there isn't much lower leg support. And when you put your feet flat, you feel like your knees are at your ears. I am hearing the wind getting caught around the window frame here. Took that high-speed corner like it was nothing. I'm thoroughly impressed with this thing. This is the point of this series. I'm trying to find out if you really do need the latest and greatest to have the best in something. But for this case, no. You're still getting all of those Tesla fanatics after you asking questions. You're still getting all of the wonderful electric vehicle experiences. You're still getting all of that technology. Although the most current one might have a few more cameras, might have a different look to it, you're not missing out. I think actually a used Model S could be a pretty good deal. So that's been everything from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video here on The Drive Guide. My name is Max Landi. Thanks for watching.